the toughest thing to figure out is relationships. It is the yoga of the West, but it's harder than yoga. I'm 52 nearly, and I don't feel greatly wiser in this area than I felt at 24. And, I've had a marriage, I've had a divorce, I've been single, I've had long-term relationships, short-term relationships, on and on and on.
Now that's Terrence McKenna admitting that in spite of all his mind-expanding drug use, he has nothing to offer when it comes to gender relations. And the reason is he wants to worship the opposite sex. And it's a simple fact that, you can't know the mind of God. So God has to remain a mystery. And if you know the mind of God, he ceases to be God. And you can't worship him. And since McKenna worships women, wants to, he's passed away, so I have to say in the past tense, he wanted to, he would have to not understand them. Of course, he actually does understand them. He's just in denial. Most men are in denial. Women are just ordinary mortal people whose motivations are actually very basic, very simple, just like us guys. And so any woman worshiper will never have any insights to give to other men.
In a way, without going too far with it, men are the ancillary sex. I mean, the original blastula in the embryonic development is female. And I was listening to somebody the other night talk about this, saying no wonder men have the problems they have. What a man is a woman who has been under incredible chemical assault for 9 months in the womb. And you just have been hammered, sculpted, shaped, and recast again and again, and then you're born male. A female fetus doesn't experience anything like that. It starts out with a smooth shot, its end phylogenetic expression, and then achieves it. I don't think of the ego as particularly male, because I think we all have it to excessive degrees, but men are able to express it. A woman with an ego is frustrated. A man with an ego is a menace to all concerned, So, yeah.
Now take McKenna's description. Now he takes something that has truth to it and puts an anti-male spin to it. That is, we're all born female in the womb, and the Y chromosome has to kick in to make the changes to convert the female to the male. But the way he describes it is that it's a chemical assault. Now, estrogen, even though we're default female in the womb, we aren't just instantly female. Estrogen is also assaulting and making changes to the body. But of course, McKenna sees that as good. It's not an assault, it's just natural. And the male changes, they are an assault. This is how anti-male this guy is. Any man who worships the opposite sex will be, by default, self-loathing to his own gender. There's no way around that. And he'll be destructive guru to any young man listening to him, or any man of any age, I'll say that. Now, the thing about mind-expanding drug is it does just that. If you have a bias in your mind, the drug doesn't actually counter that, it reinforces that. I'm sure when he goes on his psychedelic trips that the goddess was prevalent at times. And it makes a person ask, if women are so divine, why bother taking mind-expanding drugs? Why don't you just engage with relationships with them as often as possible and gain, divinity that way? Or why give women mind-expanding drugs if they're divine already and they already understand these things innately? And what do women get out of them? Do they dream of themselves? There's so many contradictions in McKenna's talks, always. I mean, I actually applaud Fractal Universe channel for at least looking for answers and searching for something new. But I'm telling you now, these guys will find nothing by entertaining guys like McKenna. McKenna is going to just lead a guy into a self-destructive path of female worship. I mean, is that all his insights? Is that's all he has to offer? Non-evolution, non-change. I mean, just look at some of his fans. Not all of them, but certain ones. They might love listening to McKenna, but they're traditionalist. I get it back and forth with a guy who he still wants to get married. He still wants to have that long-term relationship with some woman. These are defunct, human relations in the modern era. I mean, this is as far as people listening to McKenna can actually imagine. The same old, no change, no improvement. And that's how I know guys like McKenna is a dead end. So, guys, keep searching. If you want to go on a spiritual path, do that, but make it spiritual. The goddess worship is the exact opposite. It's a material path. It's a material path of mere reproduction that amoebas can do. Okay, so thank you, everyone.